Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
I have a letter here, Chemda, from Rob. He's in Nova Scotia.
Hello, Rob.
He says, my name's Rob. I give 2 pandemics worth of shits about this email.
2 pandemics. Holy shit.
I'd like to know they care. We would get letters real long. I'd write back, what? And they'd write, oh, I was drunk. I didn't really care in the first place. So now I need to know how many shits you give. So I appreciate that, Rob. I'm 28 now. I listened to the show for the first time when I was 16.
Wow.
I don't
think you were supposed to do that, but I think it was the right thing, if I can say in retrospect.
I was homesick from school for a week with the swine flu. Remember that? Things looks like we went full circle, he says.
What?
I could barely get out of bed, but I was bored stupid, so I loaded hours and hours of new podcasts onto my iPod. I remember almost turning the show off immediately because of the prayer at the beginning.
That's fair.
But for some reason I didn't. We used to start with the prayer from my hometown, Somerset, Pennsylvania. The newspaper, you opened it up, it began with a prayer. Obviously to the one true Christian God, Jesus Christ. I found that so odd that I had to read those prayers. But then one day it hit me like, either you get it and it's fun, or you're brand new to the show and you don't get it and it's a turnoff, but nobody is brand new to the show and hears it and goes, yay, I'm into this idea. Right. So we had to stop it, and it looks like we did the right choice. I'm so glad I stuck to the first few minutes of the show. You guys have been a constant support for me. You've opened my eyes to new ways of seeing the world and given me a much needed distraction during tough times. Well, God was there for you the whole time, but I've been a VIP member.
Stop confusing the audience. We just talked about this.
Oh, right. I've been a VIP member. No, I only take the time to know God so that I may hate him. I've been a VIP member since the start of the pandemic, and I have no plans on stopping. L'chaim, and who are, of course, Humans United Against Robots, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Rob, pandemic VIP. Excellent. Thank you so much.
You know about keithandthegirl.com/calendar, right? This Wednesday, meet us in the chat room, keithandthegirl.com/chat. We'll be there. Oh, we'll be there. What time are you going to be there, Chemda?
8.
8?
8, yes, 8.
Oh my God.
Yes, with full energy. Yes.
This Saturday, meet Chemda and Xerxes for the Silent Trailers private production meeting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
By the way, we'll be at my brother's place for that, so he might chime into that as well.
Oh, also this Saturday, me, Chemda, Xerxes, and you know what? Everyone, how about that? Come see us watch our YouTube premiere. You'll see what we're talking about. That's immediately after that production meeting. So what time's that, Chemda?
That would be 8.
Okay. All right. That's our YouTube, Keith and the Girl. Next Wednesday, March 23rd, Silent Trailers live, including backstage tickets. Get that information at keithandthegirl.com/tickets. I think that's everything. All right. But yeah, I'm looking at my wall calendar. It's all filled up. Make sure you're part of it. Today's guest, he is the manager and the booker. This is if you're in the business, this is the guy you want to know, right? Of Littlefields, a fantastic venue in Brooklyn. He also recently put out the book, Eating Salad Drunk, Haikus for the Burnout Age by Comedy Greats. And it's many people that have been on this show, including Jerry Seinfeld, Ray Romano, Michael Ian Black, a whole bunch of people rating haikus to get us through these trying times. Gabe Henry. Hello, Gabe.
Hey, Keith. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Read the whole book to us. Go ahead.
Here we go. Get ready.
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Eating Salad Drunk. It's haikus. Haiku, of course, is what? 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables?
Correct.
Okay.
Doesn't rhyme. 3 lines, 17 syllables.
Right. And what's fun about this project is you can say, hey, comics, I'm putting this book together of haikus. You can either think mathematically and try some, or use one of your old one-liners and just take out 2 words. And that's what they did, and that's the book we have. And congrats.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was great to see it come together during a time when people weren't really using those one-liners on stage.
Right.
It's such a fun idea because you get a little bit from everybody. And I've been seeing on social media that people are posting their haiku. So we got a little preview through all these incredible accounts that we already follow. Here's also a good way to get to know some new comedians very quickly. You know, like, oh, I don't like your haiku. Boom, I'm not going to like your comedy. I do like your haiku. Boom, I'm going to come to your free show to start. And speaking of Littlefields, which is where we mentioned you work and you book, you must talk to a lot of comedians. First of all, aren't they assholes?
Yeah, they're the worst.
Excellent. Excellent. I see we have a truth teller. Excellent.
Is it tough to know as a booker and a manager? Is it tough to know if somebody's having a real conversation? For example, I talk to comedians and even if I didn't have this talk show, I guarantee I'd realize that comedians are talking to me and they're really just doing their act. They're not really there. The whole thing's fake. Add on top of that, you're the booker and manager of a major venue. Can you tell what's real?
I think that you need to be talking with someone for a while before you see what's real, before you can see like the mask come down a little bit. I think that especially when someone's about to go on stage or someone's coming off stage right away, their persona is still up. Right. And it takes a little while for that to come down because they're performers. And even when they're off stage, they don't necessarily turn that off, generally speaking.
And even if they made up that they were mugged, they come off, they still feel like they were mugged. You know,
yeah,
it has to be realistic. Like Keith said, it's a very major event. In fact, I could feel comfortable saying if you're from out of town and you're not sure, like what kind of venues, where to find this kind of entertainment, I think it's a sure thing. Littlefields. I think like you can go there on any night and get something really, really fun and interesting. What's a mistake that comedians make when trying to book the space?
Well, not having a pitch that a lot of comedians will email me saying, I have an idea for a comedy show. I figure I'll be a host. I'll bring my friends on stage. What do you think? And I'm thinking, what's the pitch? It sounds like a regular comedy show. Something that has a little bit of an edge or a little bit of something unique that makes it stand out. Like, why are you hosting? Who are your friends? What's the theme of the night? We tend to get a lot of, especially in Brooklyn, especially in this neighborhood of Gowanus, a lot of oversaturation of certain kinds of comedy shows. What you would, I think, think of as straightforward comedy shows with a host and 5 comedians doing their bits.
You ever have to
look for?
You ever have to tell a comic he's being too edgy or this kind of thing? Like, hey, you can't, we're cool, but you can't say the N-word. And he's like, it's in context. And you're like, you brought up the context.
I'm never going to censor anyone. I think that the only censorship that happens would be we would quietly not book someone again if we didn't enjoy them, but we're not.
As long as it's not censorship, I follow.
Yeah.
Just quietly not book them.
Well, we're not going to give them a disclaimer at the beginning. Can't say this, can't say that.
I see.
So it's not, it's indirect.
Your book profits are going to COVID relief. What does that mean?
Yes. Well, there's this charity called Comedy Gives Back, which is this great organization that's been around for a few years. And right now they're helping out comics in need who have been struggling these past couple of years with mental health issues, medical resources, unemployment.
Are there comedians that don't suffer from that?
Yeah, they all want a piece of this.
These past 2 years in particular, they've started giving out grants and relief funds for COVID relief, especially those first 14 months when every venue was basically closed. So all the author proceeds from this book are going to Comedy Gives Back. They've been wonderful helping to promote the book, to support the book. At my book launch a couple weeks ago, they were there. They were meeting people and taking donations, and they're a wonderful organization.
That is wonderful.
People.
We really can't have comedians just running loose like that. So it's good. It's good to have support. But I do imagine that not only is the organization sending them money, but also a microphone. Like, here, yes, you have to stay at home, but you could still hold this. You know, you feel a little anxiety, you hold the microphone.
Like a stress ball, but it's in the microphone shape.
Yes. In fact, it could be squishy like a stress ball, like a two-in-one. So you feel free to use that, please.
I think they're also sending out canned laughter machines. You just press a button when you're having a hard day.
Has anybody applied, but they're full of shit in that they haven't been performing? Like, do they have to show their diary or something that they were all gung-ho?
There is some layer of proof or something you have to show. I don't know how they determine it, but you have to show that you've been working as a stand-up comedian for a certain amount of time.
Which is funny because nobody's keeping records, right? I have to assume everything's off the books. All right.
You have to show your Keith and the Girl credits.
Right.
It's kind of like, just providing witnesses. Were you there the night of?
At the shows every night now, people are getting witness signatures just in case this happens again.
Do you even think for a second that it's a shame, it's bad timing in that, hey, this money's going to go to COVID right now? If anybody's talking about money, they're talking about supporting Ukraine. Are you like, God damn it?
I don't think it's bad timing. I think that it is unusual that we seem to be coming out of COVID, knock on wood. I mean, I've said that 6 times in the past few years, but I think.
By the way, that's how I check with my boyfriend. I'm like, we seem to be coming out of COVID. And then I just wait. Mm-hmm. Is that true? Somebody tell me if it's true. I'm sorry, Gabe, please. We
thought we were coming out last fall, obviously. That was when most of New York, most of Brooklyn had their vaccinations, and then Omicron came out of nowhere. Littlefield closed down for
But that was a good
weeks.
That was a good 3 weeks, right? When we were like, we're all just breathing each other's tongues. Yeah.
Yeah. And now the city has lifted its vaccination mandates for venues and for restaurants. So that seems to be, at least symbolically, the last thing the city can do to say that we're out of it, right, or at least that we're not going to care about it anymore.
You know what else they could say? Hey guys, based on the numbers, we're not in a pandemic anymore.
Right. I could say that. Yeah.
What do you, when you're looking at somebody's vaccination card and their ID, pretend to focus on the most?
Well, we're focused.
Just a thing in general. I've seen. Okay, got it.
We have this. I've gone into so many restaurants the past few months where they don't even look at that vaccine card. They look that you're showing them something that looks like a vaccine card, but they're not checking your name. We have this security guard that works for Littlefield that she's just made it like her life's ambition to root out anyone trying to fake anything.
Right.
And so she checks the birthday, she checks the name, she checks the middle name. She also checks the height on the ID card.
Wow.
If someone comes in and it says they're 6 feet tall, but they look about 5'8", she's going to grill them.
So let me ask you this then. Did you get COVID during this time? Or any time? You did.
I got COVID.
Tell her to check again. How was your COVID? Good COVID.
It was 2 days. What was that question?
Good COVID.
Was it a good COVID?
Great COVID. Best COVID I ever had.
So what was it, like 2 days? Not bad.
2 days of a high fever and then 5 days of watching television, and it wasn't terrible. No.
Right.
Did you two get it?
I didn't.
Chemda did not. I have a girlfriend that has stepkids, so I know.
You have stepkids. They're her kids.
What? Oh holy cow! That's why she cares so much. Oh,
they're not even your stepkids. You're dating her for a long time.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me tell you.
There are words for things.
Well, but I know that whatever these things are, they're out there licking telephone poles. So I was being safe, but with that said, you have kids running around eating dirt. So, I'm not surprised I got it, but yeah.
By the way, these seemingly 3 to 5 year olds are all teenagers. I'm just so we can all be on the same picture in our mind, licking poles and eating dirt.
Yeah. Well, you don't got to call them out like that, but all right. All I know is I got COVID and I didn't do nothing. I didn't eat dirt and lick poles. That's all I know. No, I think one came from a Halloween party once and was like, I made out with 3 people. I'm like, okay, well, see you in the hospital, I guess. You can't stop them.
Did you ask him if he checked vaccines first? By the way, speaking of, there was a mandate to check, and there have been like 1 or 2 times where the venue's like, we have to check your vaccine card, and I go to get it and they're like, okay, you're good. It's like, look, kind of like, I think when you're a parent, eventually you get to that stage. Like, did you wash your hand? Okay, fine. Then you washed your hands. I can't smell you anymore.
Yeah, if you've been like a customs officer, if you've been grilling people all day, every day, you know from the first second after you ask them a question whether.
Sorry, 1 second. What is going on? We ignored the fire. But
he's in Brooklyn, and there's there's construction.
Oh, okay. Just making sure you're all right. All right, continue, please.
I thought it was a fart, but then I remembered.
Yeah, you don't even need to really check vaccination cards if you've been doing it a long time. You know whether someone's about to lie about something or not, because you know based on their first gesture whether they're nervous. I think it's like the same thing when you're crossing border or dealing with a customs agent, talking to an officer. They can tell.
Hey, going back real quick to the book, why is a haiku 575 and not like 686?
Haikus started in Japan like 600 or 700 years ago, and the Japanese language has a different meter than English language has, and there's something about 575 syllables that it is inherently part of the meter. So when we think of poems, generally we think of Dr. Seuss or Shakespeare, something that has ba-dum, 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 like 10 syllables, rhymes. It flows well in English. And in the Japanese language, I don't know that as much about it, but I know that 575 is inherent to that language the same way.
Right. If you do like 686, you end up with like Radiohead or something, right? We want it normal and pleasing to the ear. I remember my teacher telling me, Shakespeare's using, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he's trying to say. And she's like, that's the beauty. He's using 10 syllables a line. And I'm like, did he have to? Like, was he in prison and this is the only way he can write?
Also, what a stupid response from your teacher instead of like actually taking that for a teachable moment.
Right.
Like that's like how your father explained God when you had questions, right? Like, yeah, but how is he 3 people and then 1? And then your father goes, right? Amazing. What? Is that an answer?
Yeah. How is God all God and only God, but also 3 people when God, those people are separate, but it's still together? My dad goes, right? Wondrous. It's fucking nuts. Here in New York City, I see that at the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art, and people go to this. Check this out, Gabe. People go to this place for fun, right? It's not even for school. So anyway, one guy was there, and he's a regular, but I don't know how exactly, but apparently he causes trouble. He's just a little unruly, and they ended up surprising him by canceling his membership one day. So he jumped over the counter and stabbed 2 people. They're still alive, but somebody decided. Now this. I didn't even know I was going to go here, but it makes me think about managers, and I hope you're a good one. At any time, like I worked in a restaurant and I had a manager. Whenever there was trouble in the restaurant, they ran and hid to their office. And I don't know if you see this in your line of work or not, but I'm guessing the MoMA manager was like, yeah, cancel his membership. And then just hid in the office. Let's let the young 20-year-olds deal with this.
People respond very largely to art. Look at Hitler. Come on, be ready, folks. Let's not let history just kind of slide by.
You know what? I don't want all roads to lead back to me, but I hate art. Always did.
That's why there's a guitar on your wall.
Sign. That's a sign. Yeah, that's not art. That's a guitar. Are you a good manager, Gabe? Do you know how to take care of business?
I don't think I would be running behind any desks. I like to think I'd be the hero in that situation.
Good.
Whether or not it was I was defending Picasso or Michael Che.
Mm-hmm. Look at the 2 of you. Just such. Wow. The arts is really lucky to have you both.
Has a comic ever gotten you in trouble, though, for saying something on stage? When you say Michael Che, you mean his tweets and then he appeared, or what was it?
No. I mean, anybody who anybody that the venue is broadcasting or giving a stage to.
Right.
Michael Che is one of my favorite comedians to have a little.
Gotcha.
I never feel like I have to defend him. I mean, like protecting him from crazy people.
Do you ever see a comedian loving comedy? Do you ever see a comedian write a tweet and you're like, none of my business, but don't.
I rolls all day.
Okay. But that's their business. You're like, all right, if you're happy. I hope you're still there. A crazed man, angry his membership at the Museum of Modern Art had been revoked, leapt over the counter at the famed Midtown institution and stabbed 2 workers who refused him entrance on Saturday. Yeah, hey, he's here. He wants entrance. No. Okay, can you come down? You take care of it. You're an adult. You wanted responsibilities. Okay. Now I'm being taken away because I'm bleeding. A 24-year-old woman was stabbed twice in the back and once in the neck. A 24-year-old man was stabbed in the collarbone.
How did he have time for that? Look at the quickness. You jump over the thing and obviously they already started walking away since she got stabbed in the back. So,
right.
Wow.
A tourist, Wendy Keffer from Austin, Texas, was entering the museum when her husband and kids, when the mayhem began. As we're about to walk inside, she says, we saw hundreds of people running out all at once. We heard people saying, shooter, shooter, shooter.
No.
Unfounded reports that there was gunplay frightened her son, who's 12 years old. Everyone was yelling, shooter, shooter, shooter. So I just covered my head, he said. It was the scariest moment of my life. And I had just gotten into art and I wanted to see the Starry Night. That's why I came down here. I'm still not over it. Now imagine.
Wait, what? Who said the Starry Night part?
The 12-year-old. He just got into art. He wanted to see Starry Night.
Okay.
So he's going to come back someday. They feel safe to the museum. He's going to finally see Starry Night and go, what, this?
Keith, I think that you're forgetting that, picture more walking through a museum and Starry Night and all of that. Edibles on the correct amount of information to your brain. Okay.
And if he's anything like my stepkids, this 12-year-old has them. Okay.
Well,
okay.
They were saying shoot her. Was it?
There was a shooter.
Shooter, like shooting a gun. Yeah.
Okay. Shooter.
This other person said, we were trying to see Salvador Dali and we got nothing.
What is happening? We all know what's in the museum. That's what we're like. It's such a weird perspective. Like, I was hoping to have fun today.
Well, it sounds like they were leaving these on Yelp.
Yeah.
I was hoping for a great day at the museum, and then someone almost got killed.
Promised painted sunflowers. Reality. Wilted sunflowers. Send.
Hashtag wilted.
Hey, this is good. This is good timing because I need to tell you guys about this PolicyGenius. It's about life insurance. And look around this world. You might want to have some. If someone relies on you for financial support, whether it's a child, an aging parent, or even a business partner, you need life insurance. Life insurance gives you that peace of mind. You know what life is. You've heard about insurance. Okay, that's what it is. Now, here's what you do. How do you find the best insurance for yourself? Head to PolicyGenius.com, answer a few questions. In minutes, you can compare personalized quotes from top companies to find the lowest price. You could save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with PolicyGenius. It's a weird thing to think about, but you gotta, okay? They don't add extra fees. They don't sell your info. And they have thousands of 5-star reviews across Google and Trustpilot. Head to PolicyGenius.com. Get your free life insurance quotes. See how much you could save. Just take a look. Okay.
You know what?
I was going to say, maybe savings not your bag, but okay.
You know what's tough about PolicyGenius? You have to know how to spell genius. But that's the smart part.
Yeah. I bought all the dumb ways and I forwarded it to them. I want everybody happy and satisfied. Big news, Tom Brady, who announced February 1st that he is retiring from football, the best ever, of course. He said, you know what? It's March 13th. I'm back. And he is going to play football again. He is unretiring himself from that month where he got to see his own funeral.
I don't understand. You can do that in football?
Yeah, sure.
So everyone's looking for a job in football and he goes, nah. And he goes, you know what? Did you already hire someone? Am I here too late? And he just gets a job? Right.
You're saying he's the Jay Leno of football. I follow.
Do you think he thought about this ahead of time? Do you think in the back of his head he thought, I don't know, I'm going to go on this big farewell tour, get all this press, and then surprise everyone? Because at least, when Michael Jordan retired, he gave it a try. He gave retirement a try and came back a year later.
Right.
But Tom Brady, I mean, he's home for 4 weeks and he's like, not feeling it.
I think it was just a fight with the wife over loading dishes. He's like, get the fuck out of here. Oh, I think I'm busy 8 months of a year. I'm done.
Are you guys sure that he retired? Because he could have just said something like, I'm getting too old for this shit. And everyone's like, he's retiring. Holy shit.
He made a big production. Now he says these past 2 months, you're kind of exaggerating. I've realized my place is still on the field and not in the stands. That he said to somebody he was getting into a game and he goes, do you know who I am? And they go, no. They're like, he's like, all right, I'm coming back. That time will come. One day I will. I promise. One day I will retire, but it's not now. I love my teammates. I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa. Unfinished business. Let's fucking go.
Yep, Keith, I think you're right.
It was all a trick.
I think he was like, oh, I thought I had a really nice house.
Yeah.
Thought I had a lot of rooms, like almost the amount of rooms where it's like, is anyone else home? I don't know. Turns out everybody knows where the kitchen is and everyone keeps eating my sandwiches. Right. So why don't I go where they massage me before I go to work and everyone yells my name when I come out and, I throw a ball on the ground and people get excited and all kinds of weird shit happens over there. What happens at home? What happens to you guys at home?
No,
not much.
That total disrespect. He goes into that locker room. They say, sir, that I guarantee they treat him with reverence and as they should. But you're not getting that from your kids. You're not getting that from your wife per se. And, both, your wife and these other, 10 players, they'll blow, everybody will blow you. So might as well go where most of the people are.
It also could be his wife who was like, so this is what you're like. Cause, it was a lot easier to miss you when you weren't here. So let's go miss each other again. That was fun.
He's 44 years old and he's going to re-sign, of course, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Me too.
You're going to do it too?
I don't know. Apparently you could just say
it. Do you think there was something, he's like, let's see what people say. If fellow players shit on me, do they say I'm the greatest? I just want to hear it.
It does feel that way. It feels like, this isn't a whim decision. Nobody retires on a whim. It does feel like all of these people that we know in the public eye have 5-10-year plans. And when they deviate, a lot of things break around them. This is such a smooth transition out, smooth transition in. Can't help but wonder, is this what was planned?
And you got to imagine they're running every decision they make by a publicist and a PR agent. They're not making anything on a whim.
Unless he quit on Twitter, because when they don't monitor these people's Twitters, like they end up not sounding like, quote, themselves, the pre-prepared speeches that they always have. Like actors, we don't understand, or maybe we forget, they always have pre-prepared speeches. It's called acting. So when they're on their own, on their Twitter, it's like, oh, you had these thoughts. Yes, that thought from that movie was not this person's. It was a character. Right. This is their thought. And maybe that's not what we're looking for.
I had my own thought. It was that 2 MAGA people spat on me and used gay slurs. And anyway, I see I'm really just an actor and now I'm in jail for 5 months.
That's when you give the actor, that's when you let the actor write the script.
Right.
By the way, are we in movie corner for just a minute?
No.
Ah, damn it. I thought since I shoved it in there and I thought no. Just a really quick movie corner. Yes. Do you guys know the movie Contagion?
Yes. I know of it. Yeah.
Did you see it at the time of its release?
No. I watched it the first week of COVID.
to learn the science. Yes. Did you guys learn anything or realize they're very vague?
No. Let me tell you something. If you watched Contagion before the pandemic, and while the pandemic was happening, you weren't like, holy shit, we're in this exact movie. I don't know what was happening to me. Contagion is everything that just happened in order with every response. It is fucking unbelievable. And I don't know how you people claim to watch every fucking movie all the time. I've heard the movie Contagion, which means all of you watched it right? Or like 80-90% of you watched
but
it.
then new movies come
Why
out.
wasn't it blowing your mind?
Because we know we're in the Matrix. That's a little deeper.
Yeah. Was anybody flipping out? My head's exploding. I actually do believe we live in the Matrix now. What is this movie? Everyone's just cool with this movie.
This is the one with Matt Damon, right?
One of the white guys, I assume.
Yeah, they talk about social distance. I mean, when did it come out?
Scientists
social distancing, the R0 number, vaccines, how airborne diseases spread from pigs. I know they got everything. And then the vaccinations and how they roll them out.
Did the bat thing come from this movie? No, I'm serious.
Were there bats in this movie?
Yes, that's what happened. It was a bat and a pig and something, and it dropped. They showed us at the end. It was bat related.
It always is.
What is are you guys watching movies or just making fun of me for just hanging out?
Because you're acting like you saw something we didn't. You saw it during when it's going on, so it registered. We had our feet up. We're sharing popcorn. We're watching Contagion.
I understand that, but then once the pandemic hit,
I didn't check my diary.
This reminds me of a movie, scene by scene, line by line. Nothing sounded familiar. What a great movie it must have been for you at the time that it stuck so hard on your brain. Please rewatch Contagion so we can all fucking have our heads exploded and go from there. I can't talk to you people if you don't feel this way. What is happening? No one's flipping out.
I don't think you're supposed to be watching movies while you're in them. You know, it got 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, 63% by the audience.
Well, it's 100% accurate. Okay. All right. Listen, if you can relax enough, get yourself, not just butter on the popcorn, butter on the skin, butter yourself, relax, and then take breaks during this movie. But holy shit. It's
from 2011. So, well, I've been in multiverses since then, so you kind of forget.
Because if you saw someone, about to get shot, like being shot at, and they fucking bent their back over and fucking slow-mo dodged the bullet, you would go, this reminds me of a movie.
All right, I'll take a look.
Oh, thank you.
What did you learn, though, that you can tell us? That
we're in the fucking Matrix.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. I see the difference now. By the way, right before, this is a true story, right before Tom Brady said, I'm not retiring after all, a fan of his bought what would be his last touchdown ball for $520,000.
He should get his money back.
So what's that worth now?
No one gives a shit now. No. An NFT makes more sense. Yeah.
Now, there's a bunch of lessons in there, but let's not review them just for the sake of sanity of a lot of people.
But imagine, and then unless you're just a billionaire and who gives a fuck, but I picture you have to talk to your wife when something's $500,000. And then, hey, honey, I just got a message from Huffington Post. Is this good news or bad news? Well, right now it's still the last ball. You're hoping he never makes a touchdown again.
You could tell that Keith, this is a Keith's relationship head, where it's like, does your partner keep you accountable? Because obviously you had to run it through someone or you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah. So you know what? You're going to get in so much trouble.
Imagine Keith without a partner. Like, who do I run it by? I don't know.
I just spent $500,000 on a football that's now worth nothing. And I'm like, honey, are you sure you want the broccoli rabe? Because it's $23 and you don't need it.
Maybe Tom Brady secretly was the one who sold the ball. And he's like, sold it. Now I can come back. Made my money.
Wow.
He just wanted a quick $500,000. Who does that? A millionaire still likes $500,000.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going crazy because my Con Ed bill, my electricity bill here in New York has shot up 600,000%. And I don't know if you noticed this, Gabe, but yeah, I'm $250 I paid for heat the other month. And apparently there's some kind of travel fee if you look at the fine print, and that's some new pipeline they're making. How could they be making it better and I got to pay for it? B, I turn on a button and there's my heat on. You can't make it better.
I avoid a lot of the utilities stress by just not opening the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so well, you're in for a big surprise in like.
Yeah, I can't wait. I know. My bank account is negative.
They're having, I guess, public hearings on it now. If you're in New York, you can visit those virtually.
Look how interested Gabe is in that.
I don't know if it's just for us to feel like we said something, or does shit really go? Oh, you too much, you say? Okay, let me make a note here. Thanks for logging into coned.com. What are your concerns? Too much. Can't afford. Okay, can't afford. And we're gonna think about that. Okay, thank you. There's coffee in your kitchen. Help yourself.
We're just gonna do a mic check before we start this conversation.
Right. Well, hey, have you been getting more letters from? I'm a Democrat. I've been getting, and I'm sure both sides get this, but for whatever reason, right now, all of a sudden, I'm getting so many letters from the Democratic Party.
Oh, there's something coming up. I had someone knocking on my door. Also.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
don't
I'm getting
ask me
these
what. Please that's the next episode. Right. Please, no spoilers.
All these letters are for money. I got one from the Democratic chair, whatever the fuck, and it goes, Donald Trump is having another rally, and we all don't like him. It all but says that, and this fucking guy. So if you can donate $7 to the Democratic Party, we can fight the misinformation that he's giving out. First of all, you have so much money, the Democratic Party. They both do. Secondly, don't try to trick me. Like I'm going to go, yeah, fuck you, Donald Trump. Here's $14. I might as well put his name under NAMBLA and think I did something good. It's silly, and I don't like being played. That's how
I'll go with your second point, but not your first point. It can't be you have so much money, so I'm not contributing. That's how they have so much money to, keep that going, keep the machine going. It's not like sure. Set it and forget it thing. You have to keep making money. So, but yeah, trickery, sure, not propaganda.
It's such a specific number. I think that they must know that people are probably more likely to give if it's like an odd or arbitrary sounding number. It's not 5 or 10. We did the science, and it's $7 to fight Trump. It's like when Wikipedia asks you for $3, just $3. Right.
If you don't know, and obviously you didn't, but if you don't know how to beat Trump with $1.50, then you're kind of letting me down as a party. He's going to go up there and say such dumb shit, but you need a bunch of people $7 to fight that. I don't know. I don't like it.
It doesn't just run. Things run on money.
And you got to figure out a way to fight this fucking moron. Yeah. But hopefully $7 will do it.
Give $1.50.
Or they're going to use it. Or they're going to use it to buy a football.
Right. Knowing the government, I bet they're the ones who bought it. And now it's a literal paperweight. Good job, guys. Oh well. You remember Wife Swap? I saw one of those the other day.
Oh, they're still going?
I think it was a repeat, but
okay.
It is funny when the one husband definitely wants to fuck the other person's wife. And then they did give some updates. Wait,
do we know about the show? Gabe, have you heard of this?
I don't know about the show. I imagine it's a reality show where two couples swap spouses.
Yeah, very specifically wives, but yeah. And they try to get, of course, the person who's like very athletic. I eat 5 nuts for breakfast, and it's like you can eat my nuts for breakfast is the other side. So, and then they have 1 week where they follow the family that they're staying at. So it's like, okay, here are our house rules. You have to eat 12 eggs for breakfast with some sausage. And they're like, oh, yeah. And then the next week is like, my turn. You eat nothing until 2. And the child is crying, where's my sugar? And they're like, yeah. That.
One house is like, we're Nazis. And then the other person that came into the relationship is like, I'm vegan. So I guess that's the opposite. Anyway, now we got to follow each other's rules.
You know what else they had?
Spending 24 hours a day together?
Yeah, supposedly.
Like they're sleeping in the same bed?
No, not in the same bed. No, it's
although I hear updates, and there's been a lot of cheating going on because of this show. If it wasn't then, it was after the fact.
Well, that was going to happen then. I think like that. To me, I call that enlightening.
Right.
Yeah. If you went away for 2 weeks and then you cheated, that was coming, should have came, and get over it. Like you got to, some next step was already happening. Is that going to make you cheat? 5 nuts at some other family's house? French fries for dinner finally? Is that what pushed you over?
There was one, no joke. There was one, the guy goes, I wish you was my wife. I'm like, there's cameras and she's not.
I wish you were my kid.
Right.
My kid.
And yeah, you got to go. You go in this other person's house and you got to follow the rules. And of course, you could just say no. But sometimes I'm amazed what they follow. They're like, over here, we eat raw chicken and we brush with butter and clay. Okay, if that's your way. Yeah, how about we meet in the middle and I just don't fuck you? How about that? By the way, I mean, my house rules, I tase your privates. We're a jackass kind of family. That's my rules.
There was, do you remember
That's the
Celebrity?
crossover episode.
Yeah.
Right. Celebrity wife swap, Judy Gold and her wife with Penn and Teller. Not Penn and Teller. Which one's the
He can't talk, so he was just part of it.
with Penn Gillette, the bigger one,
Gillette,
right?
Yeah, the one that talks,
Yeah, so he's very hardcore atheist and they're Jewish, and it was Friday night. And so she was like, I'm just gonna, I don't even remember what it was. Maybe
the rule was for this week, you have to believe in God.
It was something like say the Kiddush over the wine or something, have like, or the candle thing, one of the ceremonious things that have to do with being a Jew. And Penn was like openly making fun of it, like, and like to like bringing his kids into it was a little. I get it because I'm an atheist, and I'm like, we're not believing in this, but you know, you already agreed to do the swipe swap thing, so they got into it. He was making fun of it, like, look, kids, why don't we get the devil out, or some like like really like sarcastic, heavy, rude. And she was like, I'm not staying here. You're fucking rude, you know, all this shit. But I think they were friends before.
Remember Gilbert Gottfried did that show?
Did he?
God,
yeah.
I may not remember.
Yeah,
that.
no picture like, oh, who's my husband tonight? Hello. Yeah, here's the rules. Yeah, that's dumb. I'll go home right now. All right, you don't have to do those rules. Okay. I see that this Wednesday, Congress will be holding a hearing on banning its members trading stocks. Oh, gee, I wonder what Congress will think about that. Congress will have a hearing if they could trade stocks. I think they should not be able to because they affect the laws of the stocks. And obviously, it can and I believe is being manipulated. But let's see. They'll talk about it and discuss it. And they'll hear all sides.
Keith, we're just trying to start a conversation.
Right.
We're just asking questions.
If anything, we're the only ones who should do stocks because we keep getting it right. None of us lost money yet. I don't see what the problem is. We should go into Wall Street. It's like, it's not funny. Something sick is going on. Here's how I save a little money. This is what we can do. The regular people. Honey. Yes. Honey. Honey is a little add-on to your browser that whenever you go to different stores and you go to buy something, I'll be in the checkout. And then before I click, I'm going to buy it. This browser extension that's completely free, Honey, Honey, says, hey, I found your product cheaper at a different place. I saved $43 on headphones. I was going to buy them anyway. Or
sometimes I've had Honey go like, here's the coupon that applies to this thing right here where you are. So you were going to buy this anyway. Just apply this.
Yes. Here it is. When you check out, the Honey button drops down. All you have to do is click apply coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. If it finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop.
You know what it reminds me of? Do you remember the paperclip in Word?
Yeah.
It would pop up and go, you sure you want to write it that way?
It looks like you're trying to buy a watch.
Yeah. It looks like you're a fucking millionaire, but I have an idea. Let's see. If you don't already have Honey, you are straight up missing out. No exaggeration. It's literally free. It installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting the podcast. And we don't recommend things we don't use. You know that. Honey, even the Third Love bras, I use them. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/KATG. That's joinhoney.com/KATG. All right. And now we'll leave on this fun story.
Oh, no, not a fun story. Gabe, do you need to hug yourself? Just prepare. Okay.
I'm scared.
Put your seatbelt on. Are there airbags in your microphone? You got the new mics?
No, there's just earphones.
Okay.
There's
no, you're good. Okay.
Earmuffs.
Just brace, you know, actually let loose because on impact, when you're loose, it's a little easier. Okay. Fun story. Go.
A lot of car analogies I heard. This man lit his car on fire so that he can draw attention away from him robbing beer and Red Bull at a gas station. Police suspect he was intoxicated. They caught him.
But it was his getaway car and he didn't realize until he started driving.
Yeah. But alcohol in that moment will solve your problems. But then you're like, oh, my car. So he had to be like, he sets his car on fire, goes into the store. Maybe he probably has to, you've seen these clerks, they can give a fuck. So he probably had a point like, oh, what's that over there? I don't know, some fire? A car on fire? Oh, yeah, I guess the car's on fire. Are people in it? Jesus Christ. So finally the guy goes to the door and then he grabs Red Bull and beer and starts to walk out. He's like, oh, well, you have to pay for that. Like, yeah, the fire, though. This is crazy. Trying to get around him. And, he just grabs him by the collar.
In the planning of this, I picture that he was going one of two ways. One is obviously lighting the car on fire. And the other one was to go to the right of the person and tap them on the shoulder and then quickly go to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then go, oh, did you see that guy just run? That's weird. You should go. I think he had a Red Bull that he didn't pay for.
He taps you on the shoulder.
First, and I think he went to the clerk and said, what's that behind you? And that didn't work. And had to light his car on fire. And
then he goes, hold on. He went back out. Right. I'm assuming he lit it first, but maybe he went back out, lit it, and then was like, hey, I'm back. Wait, is that a fire?
I would like to know how he lit the fire. I don't.
Because gas is so expensive.
Right. Yeah. Like, how do you light, where do you start the fire, without being afraid that it'll just explode, which I know is mostly in my head. I don't know. I imagine it takes a while for a car to explode if it's even going to. But I don't know. What movie do you watch to go start the fire here? It's not Contagion. I'll tell you, it's not Contagion.
Right. Let somebody siphon your gas and in exchange give you Red Bull and beer. It's 2022. They'll give you something for your gas. Trust me.
Well, we can go so far with this. Sell your car. Be an Uber driver. Yes, there are many other things. Yes.
You need what you need when you need it. You know that saying. Here's a message from SuchCup2329 on Reddit. SuchCup2329. I heard you all talking about the Cool People shirt. It's a take on, speaking of takes on mental health, it's a take on hurt people. Cool people. I heard about the shirt on Q&A. I immediately ordered one. I love Keith and the Girl gear. Every time I wear the hole digging shirt, I get compliments and gives me a chance to sing y'all's praises. I'm a former archaeologist and work with a bunch of archaeo students who have no idea how traumatic digging holes actually can be. Well, thank you. Yeah, we talked about this on the VIP show Q&A. Newsy couldn't find the gear at first. My website was going real slow. Anyway, I don't know if people are going to have troubles with this, but Chemda, fix it.
Yeah, I did fix it. Here's where I want you to go. Okay. Go to a browser and write either keithandthegirl.com or katg.com/coolpeople. COOLPEOPLE. And what do you see?
I'll do it right now. Sorry, I just more
please.
Excited. All right. KTG.com/coolpeople. And I see cool people, the shirt. I like it.
You can click on any of the colors over there. So your shirt can be any color. Then scroll down. Oh,
I like there's a red, white, and blue one I like. Scroll down. I see Who Are Gear. I see Phenomenon. I see Poker Chips. I see.
No. Above that. Other
products. Oh, I see a hoodie of cool people. I see a mug of cool people. Oh.
There's a gator. There's a tote bag. There's everything.
God.
Making it a little
face
bit
mask.
Yes.
The crop hoodie.
Luckily,
hat.
I didn't spend my money on a non-existent football. I can buy a mug and a sweatshirt. Okay, good.
Yeah. So go to keithandthegirl.com/coolpeople.
That's right. Well, thank you for fixing that, because I would have looked very, very mean if it was hard to find after all that. So here's what you want to do. Get the haiku book, Eating Salad Drunk, Haikus for the Burnout Age by Comedy Greats. And it has a lot of your favorite Keith and the Girl guests on there, of course.
And you're supporting them. Because
yes.
These are comedians.
Yes. He also has the best-selling history trivia book, What the fact? 365 strange days in history. This guy is always boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And if you're a bad guy at his venue, he'll talk to you directly. Right, Gabe? Tell him.
That's correct. I'll kick you right out. I love confrontations.
Talk to my 20-year-olds over here. Come on. That's not being a boss. You know that. All right. Gabe, it's very nice meeting you. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Keith. Thank you.
KeithAndTheGirl.com